roundtable. We've talked with you in the past, but I think it was very important that we'd have an opportunity to hear from you and have the Premier hear it directly.
We are here today to talk about the effect of the federal carbon tax. It comes into effect April 1st, so just a couple of weeks from now. This tax will have a direct impact on many, many businesses across Ontario, and not least of which agriculture and the agri-food business. The funds that typically would go towards making your operation more efficient, paying your employees, doing all the things you need to do to run a competitive business that feeds our province, will instead be going to an unnecessary tax. A tax that will put a huge pressure on Ontario families, a tax that will make it more difficult for people who want to employ people and start a business, and a tax that's unnecessary in terms of the environment. In November, as I know many of you know, because I have received great input from the agriculture sector, we brought out our Made in Ontario Environment Plan. That plan highlights the fact that Ontarians, including the agriculture sector and rural families, have already made a great contribution in terms of reducing greenhouse gases. We set a target of reducing greenhouse gases by 30% over the 2005 levels. Those are the same targets that the federal government established. Ontario has already achieved 22% of the 30%, so we are on our way there in terms of making that contribution. And I should say, in that period, while Ontario has reduced emissions by 22% because of the contribution of the people of Ontario, the rest of Canada has gone up by 3%. So we brought out a plan that is going to effectively get us to that 30% target, which is the target that the Prime Minister set, and it's a target that doesn't involve a job-killing carbon tax.
We have this carbon tax that's going to hit us on April 1st. Everything is going to go up. And I always say we're in real threat of a carbon tax recession.
As the Premier has said from the very beginning of this, we are going to use all the tools at our disposal to stop the federal government from imposing this tax.
Make no mistake about it, this is a tax. They put the word carbon in front of it, it does absolutely nothing, zero for the environment, outside of our families. You bring your kids from point A to point B, it's going to cost more. Everything in the grocery store is going to cost more. Operating your farms will cost more. Everything is going to cost more, and why? When we sat down with the Prime Minister and asked him that, very simply, why? Rod, you've done an incredible job. We're already at 22% in emissions reductions. When we have to hit 30, we still have 11 years to do it. You don't need a carbon tax to reduce emissions. And all it is making us uncompetitive. We're competing against people around the world. We're competing against our great neighbors south of the border. Ontario alone does $350 billion a year in two-way trade with our American friends. If we were a standalone country, we'd be the third largest trading partner in the world with the United States, Ontario alone. But how can we compete when we have one arm tied behind our back, when Ohio and Pennsylvania and other jurisdictions in the U.S. that are competing against us, they don't have this burden of the carbon tax. And you don't listen to this malarkey, you're getting a rebate. People are going to get hurt the most are the rural folks.
What can the province do other than voice their displeasure about it?
Well, I'll answer that in the pass over to the Minister. We're going to court. We're taking to court. I know Premier Moe did as well, and as well as New Brunswick, Premier Higgs there. But you see this sweep going across the country, and then when Alberta holds their election, Jason Kenney, I'm pretty confident he's going to be the next premier out there. So there's going to be a lot of resistance. And it's not about the government resistance, it's about for the people. It's all about the people. And we're going to use every tool at our disposal to make sure we fight this job-killing carbon tax. I just can't wrap my head around why he's doing this. He's like he's in another zone. Like, this is not good for the economy, not good for the people. What doesn't this guy get? Sorry to be so blunt, but it's frustrating. It's like talking to a brick wall sometimes.
On the legal front, Ontario's legal challenge, those challenges have now been joined. Obviously, Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, Manitoba are aligned. There's the Saskatchewan challenge going forward. That has already been heard, and we'll get results from that, I'm sure. There is the challenge. Our challenge will be heard in April. So we believe this is an unconstitutional tax. First of all, they don't call it a tax. They have to. You can't just charge people money. If you're a government, you have to at least call it what it is. But beyond that, we think they've far overreached. So we will pursue that legal route, and we will pursue it in the court of public opinion. We need the people of Ontario to understand, as they are thinking about their options as it goes forward, that this tax is going to cost an extra 5 cents at the pump starting April 1st. Within the next 3 years, it's going to cost an extra 12 cents at the pump. On diesel, that's more like 7 cents a liter and 15 cents a liter. When we're talking 3 years from now. And for the average household, the Financial Accountability Officer, so that's an independent officer of the Ontario Legislature, said $648 per family by 2022. And as I pointed out before, this is for a tax in a province that has already done more to reduce greenhouse gases and has committed to reach the targets the Prime Minister set, but done more to reduce greenhouse gases than any other place. So it's just unnecessary, but we need to make sure that that message gets out.